Hi, and welcome to this live reading from Singles and Other Singularities by Gaia B. Amman, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1, Missed Connections, September 2003, O'Hare Airport, Chicago. Restless. Gate B9. The monitor blinks 4:22 p.m., which means it's 10:22 p.m. in Italy. The red ribbon, scrolling at the bottom of the giant muted TV, announces that 2 years after the disaster, it gets tougher, not easier, for parents of 9/11 victims. A contact lens scratches my cornea, and my jeans squeeze my thighs and crotch. The first time I forced myself on a plane to Buffalo, New York, I could not pass on the career opportunity, even at the cost of putting my life on hold for a year. 4 months later, I can't wait to leave Italy behind, my defunct toxic relationship, mom's depression, and even the band, since a new singer has finally replaced me. I'm eager to return to my PhD in molecular oncology in a much too physical friendship with my nemesis, grad student Amar Shastri, 1 year my senior, smart asshole extraordinaire, king of hubris and mixed signals, and champion of venting his hatred for me through passionate makeout sessions. Shut up. Complicated is nothing compared to my ex. Heels click fast against the terminal's floor amidst the hubbub of rolling trolleys, booming announcements, and screaming children. My neck creaks, and my fingers get stuck in a massive knot of bushy hair. Cringing, I hide it back into the thick of my disheveled mane. People around me coalesce into a line to board, but the monitor reads, Dallas, Texas. Ha! We should be leaving soon, but I'm the only one left at the gate. I stand to approach the desk. Excuse me, any news on the flight for Buffalo? It's thrilling and strange to speak English again after a week of Italian. Black tight curls fall in the eyes of the lady as she checks my boarding pass. Leyna Balny? She asks, and I nod. Her amused expression turns to alarm. Honey, go! They're about to leave! Flustered and a tad humiliated, I run through the passenger boarding bridge, holding onto my laptop bag. The announcements in English are lost on me, and I will never get used to strangers calling me honey. I'm still an immigrant, no matter how American my parents think I've become. Doze, wake, tilt, roll, land, deplane. Clop, clop, clop. Thrilled, I walk along the gray marbled floors of the small Buffalo Niagara International Terminal. 7 feet tall heroes, their faces now familiar, smile in white lab coats from a billboard advertising the Buffalo Cancer Center where I work. Brimming with pride, I cross the security barrier and see another familiar face, but not the one I was hoping for. Leyna Boo! Flora yells, galloping toward me in a black maxi skirt, moccasins, and a nun-like cardigan, as if she hadn't turned Amar against me, the traitorous minx. My willowy roommate and coworker throws her long arms around me, thin oval face stretching in a huge smile. A tight bun restrains her dark and thin tresses, except for a curl that falls over her forehead, crunchy with hair product. Stiff, I declare, we're not okay. It's not as effective, mumbled in her chest, since we're at opposite ends of the human height curve. She releases me, uncertain, suddenly looking much younger, and blurts, teary-eyed, But Amar was wasting his time on your broken heart. I just warned him. I grunt, aiming for the stairs. Not your place, and Leyna Boo, I'm sorry. Her lips quiver. You know I love you, and I like him so much. I didn't want him to get hurt. Yep, complicated. I sigh. She was right after all. I was emotionally unavailable. Mascara clots in her unshed tears. The lip gloss and light eyeshadow bring out her brown eyes. She's even wearing contacts. This week apart was good for her. Carousel number 2 is immobile, providing the perfect parenthesis for Flora to foist an unwanted conversation on me. She asks, So did you get some clarity when you were home? Did you? I retort, still bitter. The argument is old, but I still wish that Flora, Catholic version of 28, would not marry her troglodyte of a fiancé, more so since her number one fantasy is the arrogant asshole I've made out with 3 times and cannot stop thinking about. It's Amar I need to talk to. Flora has messed things up, though unintentionally, way too often. She insists. Speaking of Amar, is that who you're looking for? I catch my wandering gaze and fix it back to the black scales of the dormant carousel. She continues. Because I asked him to come along, but he's been really busy, I think. Kind of ignoring me, actually. Oh, that's strange. Amar has always been nothing but genial to Flora. The conveyor belt, scuffed by years of hurdled luggage, squeaks into motion. And he hasn't mentioned you at all. Flora would never lie on something petty like this. Her inquisitive gaze is tuned in on my suppressed reaction. She adds, you said you didn't care about him, but your face could be the positive control for disappointment. You're such a dork, I smirk despite myself. And I do care. You do? The lines on her forehead bunch with anticipation. The carousel whimpers, vomiting its cosmopolitan luggage collection. My prolonged silence didn't diffuse the expectation from Flora's face. Eyebrows raised, head tilted, eyes on me. I exhale. My mom and sister think he behaved like an asshole because I was dismissive. I chew the word out in spiteful mockery. Flora rolls her eyes. It didn't take 2 psychologists to figure that out. And you've also been telling him to steer clear of me. The crowd thins, dragging away suitcases, friends, and family. I exhale, all anger retreating to reveal sadness and fear. Flo, what if I've killed our chance? She shrugs, her conflicted gaze intent on the last few suitcases. Then it wasn't meant to be. If it's real, it's never too late, Leyna Boo. She must be right. When Amar kissed me, I connected with him and his pain like with no one else before. His entitled composure crumbled when he whispered in my ear that he had never wanted anyone so much. It meant more, coming from a self-proclaimed asexual. He would have been my 4th lover, except that I'd never have sex with someone I don't foresee being with for the rest of my life. However, it's funny I insist on this notion since I have been wrong 100% of the time so far. The rejection stung as his gargantuan pride entangled our twisted relationship further. Then he read Flora's stupid letter and stopped talking to me altogether. I could have at least gotten laid. Relieved by sighting my 2 light blue bags, I lurched them off the belt with a groan. They are stuffed with all the pieces of my old life that fit. Get a cab? I ask. Are you kidding? Flora protests. It was fast with the bus. Bus says it takes 1 hour and a half, Flora, and only 20 minutes by car. She frowns. I add, I'll pay. After 24 hours of traveling, a taxi is a worthy splurge, $30, even for a broke grad student. You'll waste your money then. Nonetheless, she stalks out toward the line of white cabs and stops so suddenly I lurch into her back. What the? Eman! She yells, waving. What a coincidence! I follow Flora's ecstatic gaze to the white sedan. At the wheel is Flora's fantasy number 2, Eman. Mighty biceps squeezed in a baby blue V-neck t-shirt, tiger eyes smiling under thin dark eyebrows, and short black hair. My mouth opens and closes. I might have misjudged the hunk of grad students. He does get on my nerves more often than not, but he's the one who dropped me off at the airport when I left, and here he is, picking me up. What would Amar say if he finds out? The two hate each other, I chuckled to myself. Eman stretches over the front seat to unlock the door. When Flora jumps in, he frowns imperceptibly and exits the car to help me with the luggage. I hug him, grateful. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Eman's composure is complemented by his faint British accent, mysterious since he's Turkish. Of course. That's what friends do. How did she get here? The bus, Flo chimes from the car, undeterred by his tone. Eman flinches since he'd never be rude to someone's face and did not intend for Flora to hear his annoyed remark. He climbed into the car, and as Eman starts the engine, I'm grateful to lean back and let Flora do the chatting. As a perk, Eman's presence warrants me relief from Amar-themed conversations. Flora blurts, So, Leyna Boo, will you call Amar as soon as we get home? I repress a fit of coughing. Eman asks, Why would she? My eyes stray to the verge of the highway, refulgent with orange daylilies. A green sign welcomes us to Buffalo, an all-American city. My silence goes unnoticed as Flora drones on. "And Manu's made dinner for tonight. Want to come over, Eman?" "All good back there?" Eman asks, ignoring her, his gaze catching mine in the rearview mirror. "Yes, just tired," I answer. "Thanks." The reflection of his skeptical eyes lingers on me. Eman is a player, but he has all the empathy Flora lacks. Currently, she's moping, glaring at the green sign pointing at the best street exit. Home. Our beloved apartment A4 is a 2-bedroom on the ground floor, first floor for Americans, of the Sherwood Apartments. The entryway faces the living room, flooded with light, and opens to the left on the small kitchen, which is also connected to the main living area through adorable French doors. Americans have a knack for assigning nationalities to the most disparate things, from Italian beef to Polish sausages. Hardwood floors and cream walls brighten up the space lined with north-facing windows. Flora arranged the 4 bottles of booze we own in a perfect line on the rickety entertainment center I salvaged from the basement and repurposed to hold candles and CDs. The rest of the furniture is rented, and we pay per month. While Flo locks the door, I scramble the bottles and tilt the Monet poster I bought, a section of water lilies still wrapped in its original plastic, under Eman's amused supervision. Then I leave him behind to drag the luggage to my bedroom, the biggest of the 2, with 2 windows but no walk-in closet. I relish having my space back. The enormous round papasan chair with its ecru pillow and footstool, a Mars birthday card with Maya Angelou's quote taped above my nightstand, the many pictures I stuck on the walls. A train hoots in the distance, the sound of Buffalo. In my absence, Flora scrubbed my room clean. "Flora, I told you to stay out of my lair." "You're welcome," she sings back from the kitchen, where she's chatting with Eman and, judging by the sound, drying the clean dishes she had left by the sink. I can't seethe for long as I unpack Giddy, the yellow espresso cups I bought at the Esselunga supermarket, Galatine candy, Fonzie's and Chipster's chips, cheese, ham, and whatever was not intercepted at customs. With reverence, I remove from the suitcase's capacious front pocket my fan art, a bunch of CDs, comics, and old diaries. It's time for Amar to realize I'm not the dimwit he's been taking for granted since I couldn't counter his witticisms fast enough in English. As I snuggle the teddy bear I bought myself at 18 when my jerk of a boyfriend threw my childhood blankie away, Flora yells, "Leyna Boo, move it! Eman's gone ahead already. Everyone is at Manu's to celebrate your return." Manu is the 3rd and last grad student in our lab, the eldest, also Italian, like our boss. "Everyone?" I ask, hopeful, peeking out of my bedroom. Flo shrugs. Amar never got back to me, but maybe if you call him." Exhale. "I'll see you upstairs." "You'd better. Manu made dinner." "For me?" Flo shrugs. "Maybe she's mending bridges." It'll take a lot of cooking after the hell of a summer Manu put me through. She almost got me fired because of her technical mistakes, which she had, in good faith, originally blamed on me. As a consequence, our boss stretched her 5-week stay, a lifetime away from Manu's husband, to 6 months first, and then to a year, so she could fix her data. I'd be glad if she didn't poison my food. Flo steps away, and I approach the phone on the windowsill in my bedroom, by the only Ethernet plug, since my American cell is charging. I lift the receiver but hesitate, waiting to hear the apartment door closing. It doesn't. "Flo, go away already." The answer, amused and shameless, comes from way too close to my room. "Fine. Not like I could hear anyway." She clomps away, and the door slams behind her. Amar's picture stares back at me from Lafayette Square. It was June, and he was standing beside Flora, even taller than her by a full head. Skinny, huge brown eyes, and a big nose, his broad smile was bright against his skin. His black, smooth hair was an artful mess. He grinned like he never has beside me. I've spent with him most of my free time here in Buffalo, watching movies, listening to music, arguing, and making out, the last 2 with unparalleled intensity. Cheeks sizzling, heart palpitating, I dial his number and he picks up on the 3rd ring. "Flo?" he answers, emotionless, with his very American accent. You'd never guess he's actually from India. Hi, Amar. It's Leyna. I'm back. How are you? Fine. His glacial tone makes my joy brittle. Our relationship has transformed during the week I was away, but only in my head. In reality, we're still arch enemies. Right. When did, I ask. Are you? Yeah, listen, I've got to go. And then he fucking hangs up.